As South Africa, we hold the firm view that the attack on civilians in Israel and the ongoing siege of Gaza and the decision to forcibly move the people of Gaza, together with the indiscriminate and cruel use of force through bombing, destruction of infrastructure, that these are violations of international law.
Israel and Hamas are at war after the Palestinian militant group launched surprise cross-border raids from Gaza on October 7th, killing more than 1,400 people and taking hundreds of hostages. In response, Israel has been pounding the territory with airstrikes that have killed more than 7,300 people and injured 18,500 others, according to figures released by the Palestinian Ministry of Health in Ramallah, drawn from sources in the Hamas-controlled enclave. Many in the already cramped and impoverished territory are in dire need of aid. The Israeli military said its forces had entered the enclave from the north, with fighting ongoing. While a ground offensive has been widely expected following the attacks, it is not yet clear any major operation aimed at seizing and holding significant amounts of the territory is yet underway. Hello, welcome to my channel, and make sure to subscribe, like, and share.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is how Muslims and Arabs greet others, with a wish for the other to be blessed with peace and the mercy of God. Our region came with a message of peace. The Pact of Omar, issued at the gates of Jerusalem almost 15 centuries ago, more than 1,000 years before the Geneva Conventions, ordered Muslim soldiers not to kill a child, a woman, or an old person, not to destroy a tree, not to harm a priest, not to destroy a church. Those are the rules of engagement that Muslims must accept and abide by, as all those who believe in our common humanity. All civilian lives matter. My friends, I am innocent civilians in Gaza, in the West Bank, and Israel. The relentless bombing campaign underway in Gaza, as we speak, is cruel and unconscionable on every level. It is collective punishment of a besieged and helpless people. It is a flagrant violation of international humanitarian law. It is a war crime. Yet the deeper the crisis cuts of cruelty, the less the world seems to care. Anywhere else, attacking civilian infrastructure and deliberately starving an entire population of food, water, electricity, and basic necessities would be condemned. Accountability would be enforced immediately, unequivocally. And it has been done before, recently, in another conflict, but not in Gaza. It's been 2 weeks since Israel put in place the complete siege of the Gaza Strip, and still, for the most part, global silence. Yet the message the Arab world is hearing is loud and clear. Palestinians' lives matter less than Israeli ones. Our lives matter less than other lives. The application of international law is optional, and human rights have boundaries. They stop at borders, they stop at races, and they stop at religions. That is a very, very dangerous message, as the consequences of continued international apathy and inaction will be catastrophic on us all. My friends, we cannot let raw emotions dictate the moment. Our priorities today are clear and urgent. First, an immediate end to the war in Gaza, the protection of civilians, and the adoption of a unified position that indiscriminately condemns the targeting of all civilians in line with our shared values and international law. which loses all value if it is implemented selectively. Second, the sustained and uninterrupted delivery of humanitarian aid, fuel, food, and medicines to the Gaza Strip. Third, the unequivocal rejection of the forced displacement or internal displacement of the Palestinians. This is a war crime according to international law and a red line for all of us. This conflict, my friends, did not start 2 weeks ago, and it will not stop if we continue down this blood-soaked path. We know all too well that it will only lead to more of the same, a zero-sum game of death and destruction, of hatred and hopelessness played on repeat.
Here united by our deep concern at the unprecedented conflict that has engulfed Gaza and Israel, and our distress at the depth and extent of human suffering. As South Africa, we hold the firm view that the attack on civilians in Israel and the ongoing siege of Gaza and the decision to forcibly move the people of Gaza, together with the indiscriminate and cruel use of force through bombing, destruction of infrastructure, that these are violations of international law. More than that, these attacks are an affront to our common humanity. We call for an immediate cessation of hostilities. We call for the release of hostages, the lifting of the siege of Gaza, and we also call for the opening of humanitarian corridors so that basic necessities such as food, medicines can go through, so that provisions of human aid that are required for the people of Palestine can go through. We also call for a United Nations-led negotiation process towards resolving the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The international community has a duty and a responsibility to support peace and to create favorable conditions for negotiations and dialogue. As South Africans, we can relate to what is happening to Palestinians. Our people waged a brave and courageous struggle to achieve their freedom and were subjected to untold suffering, just like the Palestinians are going through. But we had courageous leaders who were able to set aside their differences and sued for peace, and were able to bring the abhorrible system of apartheid to an end. So we call on all parties to exercise restraint and on all state actors to desist also from providing weapons to either of the two sides to this conflict. We are concerned that the response of the Israeli government to the attack on its citizens will further deepen a conflict that has engulfed the region for many decades and will make the attainment of a just and lasting peace even more difficult. We are also concerned that this conflict could start spiraling out of control and engulf a number of other states in the region. The only way to bring about peace is the fulfillment of the legitimate aspirations of the Palestinian people to human rights, to dignity, and to statehood. This is in line with the decisions that have been taken by the United Nations that guarantees statehood for both Israel and Palestine based on the 1967 borders. Only through a negotiated settlement supported by the international community can the people of Israel achieve the security that they seek, and the people of Palestine realize the freedom that they need and the self-determination that they deserve. As the international community, we must call for a ceasefire to find a sustainable solution to this conflict and stand on the side of peace and justice and human rights, and end the human suffering that continues to unfold in Gaza right now.